The nature of change. We're all here living a life in movement. Life is in constant movement. And sometimes we're seeking a little peace, quiet space, security, mainly in the system we live in. We're looking for security in our base, security in our ground, security in our resources and family. We're seeking a structure in our life. We're researching a space where all could flow, where all could be in harmony. Yet, life keeps reminding us about its constant changes and keeps reminding us that somehow it's the nature of change. In this class today, I'm sharing with you a few tips on how can we manage and navigate changes while honoring our true nature. First, remind yourself on your base and your needs, on how good it feels to have that structure and that foundation. Observe how important it is to have your relationships that can be in harmony, relationships that can be nurturing. Observe also how we all need motivations that inspires us to move, to do things, to be alive. The clarity also in our mind and our thoughts are important. So we can focus our mind with clarity towards diverse direction. And the integration of all, the integration of a space where we can feel harmony in all of the main voices in our life and all of the main aspects in our life. If you take a moment and observe what is the main challenge that you are facing at this moment, what is the main change? Is the main change happening into your mind, into your perspective to certain situations, into this perception? Maybe you don't look at life the same way as you looked at it before. Or is the main change happening for you at the moment more related to your motivation? Something that you are seeking that somehow was motivating you a lot in the past and at the moment not so much anymore? Or is it that you are shifting in your relationships and you see that certain values in your relationships are also in transition? Or is it more into your health, into your grounding, into the place you live in, into your family? All those are related to the main elements in our life. So if you take a moment now, I suggest you all to write down on a sheet of paper, to draw a map, and to observe what is the main stress that you experience at the moment. What is the main transition that you experience at the moment? Just take a moment and write down. Try to really clarify what is that transition. You can write it down on a sheet of paper, or you can write it down on a note into your phone, or you can just think about it and take just a moment. What is that transition that I am passing through that is so symbolic at the moment? Take your time and take a moment to go into an introspection, a moment of reflection, a moment of observation. Once you have clarity into that change, take a moment to observe it now and observe that change. Observe that stress and see how does that stress affects you at the moment. So observe how it affects you emotionally, if it triggers fears or uncertainty, or maybe it triggers a certain excitement. Does it trigger the fear of loss? Does it trigger a certain frustration? What is the emotion that is triggered at the moment by this change, by this transition into your life? That's into the element of the water, the element of your emotions. From there, observe also how does that transition affect you physically, into your time, into the structure and the organization of your life. Observe if it affects you into the way you live, into your lifestyle. Observe if it's affecting you into your health. Observe if it's affecting you into your quality of life, into the place you live in. How does that change affect you into your base, into your grounding, into your foundation? And now just take a moment, observe how does that change affect you into your self-esteem? Is that a change that affects you into uplifting you? Or does that triggers a lack of self-esteem, a doubt about yourself, a conditionment? Does that triggers a certain self-judgment? How does that affect you into your motivation and into your self-esteem? And that when we observe about the fire element. And from there, take a moment and think also, what do you think actually about that transition into your life? Do you consider that transition into your life is something bad? Is something good? Do you have certain apprehension about that transition? What is your perspective facing that change that you are experiencing at the moment? And at that aspect, we observe the air element, the mind, your mindset, your perspective, your thought, your conditionment about that transition. Sometimes we do judge a transition. Sometimes we do consider that a transition is really bad for us. Just observe whatever you think about that transition. Once you are clear about your thought, your judgment about that transition, the feeling about that transition, and the emotional reaction to that transition that you experience at the moment, just take a moment now and breathe. Observe it. Observe your response to that transition. Observe your judgment towards it. And see if you can accept the transition you're experiencing. Observing your breath and accepting it. Trying to release any judgment. Going into a space of acceptance, of releasing, of attachment, of preconception of how things should be. The should is a word that is the source of suffering. It is just the way it is. So if you can release judgment, deepening the breath, and take a moment now to observe if you can have compassion for that transition that you're experiencing on the moment. Observe if you can allow and forgive what's going on. If you can have compassion. Compassion for who you are. Compassion for others who are involved into that transition into your life. So if you can allow just a pure and clear space of compassion. And observe also even a little deeper. Observe if you can be grateful. Grateful for what is. Grateful for your life experience. Grateful for what you could learn from that experience. Breathing deep into it like the wind clearing the mind. The wind clearing the thoughts. The breath opening to a space of clarity, facing the transition you're experiencing at the moment of your life. From that experience, that true, pure experience of gratitude and acceptance toward the transition that you are experiencing at the moment, feel a space of healing. Healing yourself and healing others who are affected by that transition. With acceptance, compassion, with healing, you can slowly detach from any thoughts, any judgment. And allow a space of peace and clarity. And from that clarity, observe what is really your intention. What is your intention if you face and you look at that profound transition that you're experiencing into your life? What is really your intention? Is your intention to find peace? Is your intention to bring love? Is your intention to find balance, navigating it? What is really your true intention deep into your heart? If you give space. Tuning into your intention now, take a moment to honor that. Feeling that intention. Honoring that intention. And now observe, how would you face the situation at the moment if you would look at it from that intention? And from there, it's a point now where you want to rebuild. For example, if your intention is peace, see how you can clarify your mind and stay into a peaceful mind as you deal with the people involved into the transition. If your intention is compassion, how can you deal with that transition with compassion for yourself and for others involved into that transition? If your intention is empowerment or confidence, how can you bring that confidence? How can you fully honor it and allow it to be there, to be part of your journey? The key points through any level of transition is to have a clear mindset and a clear intention. When the intention and the mindset is clear, then you can take action. Take a true, purposeful action. And make a leap of faith. From a leap of faith, you can move forward. You can move forward with love. Observe also if you would be abundant. Observe if you can trust your intention enough that you are ready to move forward. Trust your intention and trust your heart so that you can take the decision that really resonates with yourself. The key step now, you will write down your intention, your name, and an affirmation that empowers your intention. Once you have clarity into your intention and your affirmation, see how can you act upon it from that place. Taking action, taking leadership. If you're afraid to take action, just observe first, how would that benefit yourself and how would that benefit others if you take action with clarity, if you do it from a good heart, if you do it from a space of abundance, if you do it for the good and for the best, for everyone involved into the situation. Once you are convinced that it's really the best option for you and for others, and that is truly aligned with your values, you know that that is going to give you the drive, the energy, the resource, the confidence to go for it, to do that leap, to do that step. It can be for a project of business. It can be for a relationship. It can be for any inspiration that you have. Believe into your intention. And as long as they are all based on true, purposeful values, go for it. Act with love. Act with compassion. And act with purpose. Know that it comes from a space of truthfulness, and honor the time for each and every step along the journey. Remember that you can benefit by walking the journey one step at a time. Don't try to take shortcuts. The journey is more beautiful one step at a time. Honoring each and every step. Honoring each and every breath. Honoring everyone along the way. We offer classes to observe what are the main obstacles that you may experience, to go into a deeper level where you can learn to fully transcend any obstacles, fears that may inhibit you to access that trustful space into your heart and into your action. If you're interested to join any course, you can contact us. Learning to pass from karmic experience to gently move into a dharmic experience, into a space of abundance, where all align with your true nature and your true inspiration. We are here to support your manifestation, the manifestation of your dreams, for the best and the better good of everyone. Namaste.